Okay.
Make a motion.
Second. We have a motion by Councilman Weeks, second by Councilman Clerkin. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Under petitions and communications, public comments. Do we have any public comments from the floor tonight? Seeing none, we'll proceed on down to Holden Chamber of Commerce update. Do we have anyone from the chamber? No. Main Street update. Oh, was that a chamber?
I can give a report.
Okay, thank you.
I can tell you that third Monday in February, we'll be having our after hours, our social network event, which will be at Dan Cass' home. And I don't know the address on that, but right over here. Then we're working towards our Luck of the Draw dinner for our scholarship money that we raised for Kingsville and Holden. It'll be for that and for wayfinding signs to help finish those up. And that is April 11th, I believe, a Friday. Then the rodeo's coming up, we're working on that. It's the last weekend in June. And then the fair will be the last weekend in August this year. Because of the calendar date, it moves up. So it's like 27, 28, 29 of August, right in there. So we're working on all those events and glad to have anybody at our meetings. First Thursday of every month at Tiger Jack's at 7. If anybody wants to volunteer for anything or help out or just come have breakfast and socialize, come on out.
Okay, thank you. Back to Main Street.
We have a survey going out for internet. That should be going out pretty quick. And we have working on with design committees working on the streetscape for downtown. We're shooting for a informational meeting in April to go over streetscape, internet, and other projects that we're working on. We've started with the this year's car show, so anybody who would be interested in helping with that, let us know. We'll be setting that up pretty quick, so those committees will start working on the car show.
I have a question. What about the internet?
What are we doing?
Yeah.
Internet? Internet, we're looking at as a whole. We're looking to see what our needs are as far as usage, business, a number of questions. We have fiber going all the way through town here, 131. And we're looking at bringing that into downtown, provide Wi-Fi for downtown as there's other things we're looking at, but we need to get a feel for. We had one meeting. We need to get a feel for what businesses need as far as bandwidth, so we can start planning that out. What's the best route to take to get that fiber to those business, get the most bang for your buck. Let's try to, when we run that fiber, let's try to get as many as we can to take care of that need.
We ran a fiber optic cable south of us on Plum. Is that the same
That is CenturyLink. And when I talk about fiber, I brought up, I said the one going through, it's not specifically about the one that goes through. We're looking as a whole. So fiber coming in, what you're talking about is a beneficial. We're wanting to know what's the best way to serve our community.
Okay, thank you. Next item on the agenda is that the fire department would like to hold a fundraiser in the form of a swap meet. And the dates on that would be June 19th and 20th at this time. I'm just going to say in June tonight. It would be held at the industrial park. It would be a Friday and a Saturday activity. Hours yet to be determined. If the council approves it, then they will get into the planning stage. But it would be a fundraiser for the fire department, a weekend in June, a two-day event.
What kind of a swap meet?
What kind of swap meet? That is wide open at this time. It would be probably anything goes, maybe with the exception of live animals.
No bad idea.
Okay, any other questions on
When
that
are we gonna approve that?
tonight? Hopefully. Any other questions? If not, I would entertain a motion to approve that. Motion by Carter to approve the fire department fundraiser.
Second.
Second by Councilman Weeks. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, under mayor communications, I passed out to the council, but I'll read these out loud. I don't have enough for everyone. City council sponsored events in 2015. On March 14th, the council will be holding the city, not the council, the city will be holding a bluegrass concert at the high school. March 14th, starts at 6:30. The King family out of Monticello, Illinois will be providing the entertainment. I can now report that there will be a swap meet at the industrial park with the fire department. It was on my list as a tentative. July 4th, Music in the Park is a tentative. The Parks Board has not met and finalized any action on that, so that's also pending. Went to the chamber meeting last Thursday, and the city and the chamber will be partnering for fireworks. Last year, the city sponsored the Music in the Park, and as I've said, that's not been finalized yet. On September 19th, truck and tractor pull at the industrial park. It was successful last year. They want us to do that again this year, and I think we voted last month to approve that. But the date is the 19th. Any questions on those activities? I think working with other community groups to get more activities to hold is our goal. So I think we're moving right along on that. Oh yes, there will be a write-in on the April 7th Ward 2 council vacancy. Again, a write-in. We had no one file within the prescribed filing period, and so that will be a write-in from Ward 2. See, last month I shared with the council that the council and the mayor were accused of sunshine law violations in a complaint to the Missouri State Attorney General's office, and no report has been returned from that office yet. So until we get that report back, I will not have a comment. However, I do want to inform citizens of Holden that the city council and the mayor have been under assault since the last city council meeting. Since the last city council meeting, it's been discovered that the same group that contacted the Attorney General's office has also contacted the Johnson County Clerk's office, alleging sunshine law violations by the council and the mayor. They have no authority or an obligation to investigate, so that issue's been dropped. A verbal attack also occurred on city office personnel by 2 city council members, where the Holden police had to be called because a hostile environment was developing. And when individuals demand public information, and it's provided it does not meet their predetermined mindset, and then accuse city personnel of doing illegal activity, I say we've reached a new low. Additionally, our city attorney's been contacted by our accusers about sunshine law violations. Again, they've been judged as baseless. And then last, the Johnson County Sheriff's Department has been contacted about sunshine law violations. Again, that department has no authority or obligation to investigate. It's not required. Another attempt to discredit, embarrass, bully, and harass the council and the mayor. Now, when enough brush fires have been started, maybe a fire will start. But I hope those brush fires cease. These baseless allegations are becoming time-consuming, expensive to the city, and damaging to the reputation of the city of Holden. The majority of these council members have the citizens' best interest of Holden in their minds when they occupy these council seats. The majority act with the best intentions for their ward constituents. And this service needs to be rewarded and acknowledged, not harassment filled with false accusations leveled by a few. This pettiness, ill will, disrespect being leveled at the city council members and the mayor speaks volumes about those that have chosen this path. The city's business is being interrupted and rerouted because some are hell-bent on accomplishing an agenda that is detrimental to this community. And I assure the residents of this community that the majority of the council are dedicated to doing what is best for the residents. So don't let a few protesters detract from the mission of good government. Thank you.
Well said.
Do we have an opportunity to respond to that, sir?
You certainly do.
Okay, I'm going to tell you about the attack. That was Sam Rager and I. And what caused that to happen, you had sent a letter around, and it had a copy of a Star Journal article in it. And that letter said that you weren't sure that everybody took the Star Journal. So you were sending this copy of the article around for us to look at, and you said that you thought it accurately described what went on in the December 9th meeting. And I'm reading down through it, and it says that we were talking about contracts. Quite frankly, I don't remember the word contract being used. So I come downtown the next morning, and Sam and I eat over there at Brownie's every morning, and I said, Sam, did you get that letter yesterday? Yeah, I got it. I said, do you remember anything about contracts? No. And I said, why don't we go over there and ask for the minutes, see if they say anything about it, which we did. And we come over here, and we hadn't been there, what, a minute or two?
Well,
And all we had done is ask for a copy of the minutes.
Sharon showed it to us.
And well, it took her 3 or 4 minutes to find it. But I want to know, is there anybody other you council people that knew that was a meeting on contracts? If you did, you knew it? How did you know it and I didn't?
Because he said it.
He did not say it. It's not in the minutes.
But to go on.
And to think, you
said
say
it- he-
that we're troublemakers and all
I
that,
said to go on.
to think that
To go into executive session.
we have a responsibility to look into things like that, I think, as a councilman. And all we did is come and ask for a public document, which she gave to us. We read it. I made the statement, there's not a word in here about a contract. And she said, oh, yeah, that's what it was. And we
This
were,
time, we were unloaded on it. And I was called a liar and everything.
I did not call you a liar.
You didn't, it must be hard hearing. But,
And short memory.
no, I don't have a short memory.
well, I'd rather have a short
And we
memory.
were the ones that were attacked, it wasn't them, they were yelling at us. And finally, you were coming down the walk, and I thought, we'll get Rick involved in this. But there was another person here to see you, and it wasn't the time to bring up anything with somebody here. But I think we were the ones that were attacked, it wasn't. And they called, hit the button and called the police on us.
Yeah. You have your version.
No, I have, my version is, I'd like to see that.
Moving on.
I'd like to see
not
Mr.
enough.
Bond.
We are moving on.
I'd like to see Mr. Bond in here and get him to give his version of it.
Well, he's not here and he's not available, so we'll wait till he is available. I'll visit with him.
What
tomorrow.
about,
Yeah.
talking about the things, you said that there wasn't any opinion from the Attorney General. I got a letter from him, pretty well chastising the mayor and the council for having violations of the sunshine law. Did you not get that, sir?
We did not.
It must take you must be on there for a really good reason, Jim.
Point of
Call
order,
the doggone
Jim, has
Attorney General on the
Point of
city
order.
council.
I never called the Attorney General.
Well, you got a letter from him, so, and the mayor didn't.
Did
So
you bring
that
that
kinda
letter in
makes
to
it look
share
that
with
way.
me? I have not seen that letter.
I don't have
You and Sam. And Sam, this is a good time for me to say what I have to
it.
say.
You know, you have.
Neil has the floor.
I have the floor.
No, you do not.
I have the floor.
Did you
If
ask?
you wanna talk to me, you come talk to me.
I
You
tried
do
to
not
talk to
go,
you.
no,
You didn't.
hey, I'm not done here. You keep my family out of it. You do not go to my dad and go to my dad and tell my dad all this stuff and get him upset. I know you did. He come
No,
to
I
me.
didn't.
Yes, he told me you did. My dad's not gonna lie to me.
What
And I know
told
you
him was
did.
it-
No, Neil has the floor.
My family was not voted into this city. I want my family kept out of this city, and you come talk to me.
I tried to talk to you and you gave me a cussing.
Because I don't want to see you.
Well, you
Now,
need,
and that's about one. You know,
you go to my family, I'm a grown man. You
Wayne
don't go
Carter's
tell
been
my
my
daddy
personal
on me.
friend for longer than you've been around this.
You went and
I
told
have
my
never
dad
done
what,
anything
a bunch of stuff, and you got my dad all upset.
I didn't do that.
Yes, you did, because he told me you did. He did too. Standing right out there before you come
I
out.
talk to your dad every day at the coffee shop.
Yeah, but you told him, you was telling him something
75
because you
years.
got him all upset. You want to talk to me, you come talk to me, you don't go to my family. My family was not voted in for the city.
Okay, any other comments? If not, we're going to move on to the agenda. Under ordinances and resolutions, I requested and received an unofficial minutes from the Board of Public Works meeting held February 3rd. I had heard that there had been a bashing of the mayor, the council, and the city staff at that meeting. So I figured the minutes would reflect activity at that meeting since they are recorded by an O&M employee and sent for publication. To have a self-serving report of the meeting in print, the meeting record is recorded as such. Arrangements are made to portray an image that the public will see. I want to thank the Board of Public Works for their comments made at the Board of Public Works meeting because they display what many thought was an underlying attitude toward the city council, the mayor, and the city staff. Arrogance and disingenuousness, bullying, lack of respect, all verbally expressed and recorded at the meeting. BPW's duty is to oversee water and wastewater, not to micromanage the city or verbally abuse those elected to serve the city of Holden. The attitude displayed in the verbal barrage that has come to light in those minutes is alarming. When the Board of Public Works thumbs their nose at elected city officials and verbally abuses city officials, we have a problem. That problem came to light at 900 Vine. This council believes there is a kinder, gentler, more cooperative atmosphere at 301 West 2nd Street. The Board of Public Works is owed a thank you for pointing out the need for ordinance 1-2-15 to reestablish city management of water and wastewater for the citizens of Holden. I had sent a letter of invitation dated January 27, 2015, to sit down and discuss ways of working together and to work out misunderstandings toward a mutually respectful relationship, but it was ignored. I sent a letter of what I received from legal counsel to advise the Board of Public Works that the city has the right, if not the obligation, to move the records and the meetings to City Hall. But it was ignored. Does this ordinance say get rid of O&M? No, it does not. Does this ordinance say merge BPW and city checkbooks? No, it does not. What the ordinance does say is do public business in a public building, and these minutes are proof of why this needs to happen. Thank you. We now have before us Bill number 1-2-15, an ordinance that does amend Chapter 110, Board of Public Works of the Code of Ordinances for the City of Holden, first reading. Any comment?
Why are we doing this?
I'm sorry.
Why are we doing this specifically?
So that the city can get control and have an accessible place for the city's business to take place. The Board of Public Works is a city entity. City Hall is a city place. And with meetings here, they'll be more accessible and open to the public.
I'd ask the city attorney, why do they have a Board of Public Works? In the general speaking, what is the function of a Board of Public Works?
It's an executive department of the city organized to operate, maintain the city water.
With a certain amount of autonomy, correct?
Well,
It was always my
It's an
perception,
executive department of the city, sir, so certainly, and all its contracts are approved by the city council, and it's subject to appointment and creation from the city council. I certainly think it has operated in its contract with O&M with a degree of autonomy, if that's how you want to describe it, sir, but it's still subject to this council's review and ultimately is an executive department of the city.
Could I make a comment? We have to be consistent with state statutes. And if the state statute that plainly describes the duties, responsibilities, and what they're in charge of for a third and fourth class city, and we're a third class city,
Yes, sir.
we have to be consistent with state statute. Does that statute mean anything? It says they're in charge of records and books.
Yes, have you looked at the proposed ordinance?
Pardon?
Have you looked at the proposed ordinance?
No, I haven't.
Okay, well, the proposed ordinance says that all book properties and contracts relating to the records.
Well, you're talking about.
Performance of the duty shall be kept in the charge and custody of the Board of Public Works, but a copy of the Public Works and records will be here at Holden City Hall and such other further locations as the city council may designate. And the second paragraph says that the council would find it's in the best interest of the citizens to hold public meetings here at City Hall. So I don't find this ordinance going into the autonomy or operation of the waterworks, merely where records are, where meetings will be.
So basically, all we're doing is asking for a copy of the records.
That it be available here, so if there's sunshine law requests are made of the city clerk who's the custodian of those records, that you would be available to her to be able to respond to those would be one example of an advantage. The council doesn't have to have the records here. If the council finds it more effective to have them where they've been at O&M offices or have them at both places, that would be within the discretion of the council, in my opinion. So yeah, the statute certainly has meaning, sir, in that the Board of Public Works is the one to manage and handle the day-to-day operation of it and come to the council with recommendations on rates and contracts and structure. The ultimate authority for it as an executive department is still the city council.
I'd like everybody to remember that every person on that Board of Public Works is somebody that was nominated by Mayor of Holden and approved by Councilman Holden. And basically what we're saying is that they're all a bunch of crooks or something. And I find that, I can't, it's terrible. They're good people. Many of them have told me that they've been told a lot of things about the workings of the Board of Public Works. They go out there and they find out it's actually working pretty well. And I can't think of one person that's ever went on the Board of Public Works and it ended up, wasn't satisfied with the operation thing. Not one. Well, who's the odd man out here then?
I don't have a problem with Board of Public Works at all. Matter of fact, a few of them are friends, and I have family that works for all of them. I don't have a problem with going. But, I mean, having a copy of our records here at City Hall, I mean, it sounds feasible, as long as the city's willing to house them. And it's probably better for both of us if something
Do you have
does
any idea,
happen.
excuse me, sir, do you have any idea how many records are on?
Yes, I do.
How many?
Actually, Tony's told me, but, I mean, what's it gonna hurt if the city's wanting them?
Who's gonna pay for all that?
Probably the city.
They're about, Tony gave me a workup here of what he thought an estimate of them.
Okay.
And if we go back 5 years, no further, he said he's got records back 30 years, but if we go back 5 years, he thinks there's probably about 35,000 pages of records, of reports, of log sheets, of lab sheets. They keep all this kind of stuff. And it seems to me this has worked fine for the last 20, 30 years. Board of Public Works, when was it they left? They used to be downtown here, and then they moved out there because they ran out of room. Well, the police department wanted that. And it seems to me like it's just spending a lot of money maybe for nothing. I mean, they can go out there and get any record they want. Maybe it's for fire or something. If we have fire, then
Well, that's my reasoning, is what happens if, we've been caught in pretty good storms here lately, we have a tornado hit, or fire. It's not gonna hurt just to have the extra records here, I mean, it's not,
you have,
I understand.
It costs a lot of money to build 35,000 of them, and the citizens of Holden are gonna end up paying that.
Well, I think we're looking at this wrong. These records are public records.
Yes.
They need to be in a public building. We're not asking to recopy every page of records that's out there. We are asking, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, that those records be moved to City Hall where they are available to the clerk, the council, the public through a sunshine law. If O&M needs a record, they come and check out that record and use that record as they see fit. We do not want a duplication, a copy of 35,000 pages of records. That would be ridiculous. But those records need to be in City Hall where they're under the custodian of the city, not in a private building by a private contractor. They need to be in a public building. And that's the intent of that part of this ordinance.
That, they're in the private building because that's in the contract that O&M has with the city, is the reason that's done that way. And because several years ago, the city didn't want the dead gun things, they want someplace to
Well,
keep
this is 2015, and we're moving forward, so what happened 30 years ago, 10 years ago, maybe is irrelevant to this ordinance. We're talking about the here and now.
Well, with the relevant things going on with the Attorney General being called and maybe it's just a better place for both O&M and the city and Board of Public Works to have records on both sides. That way everybody's.
Well, he's talking about moving them now.
The ordinance says, but a copy.
The state statute said they're in charge of the books. You know what that state statute says. And I have a copy of it, I don't have it with me.
I just think it's in the best interest of all parties if everybody has it. That way, something does happen on O&M side or the city side, everybody's kept in the same loop.
Any other comments?
My personal opinion.
I don't, I'm sorry to say. I think it's much ado about nothing.
Do I have a motion for the ordinance?
I'll make a motion.
I have a first. Do I have a second? Second by Councilman Clarkin. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no.
No.
Motion carried.
That was first reading,
First reading.
second reading is the 19th.
Second reading will be in March.
Okay, good. That was one thing I've done.
Okay, reports of committees and all their business. I think we'll let the city attorney make a comment first. If you're ready, sir. If not, we can come back. Caught you off guard. Oh.
Good news and happy news at the meeting. It's my pleasure to announce the settlement of the class action lawsuit brought by numerous cities, including Holden participating as a class participant against Century Link and Embark for failure to pay business license taxes over a series of years. The suit was initiated in 2013. Missouri Municipal League helped get class counsel for small cities like ourselves and participate in it without undue cost and burden. And as a result of bringing that action, though, 8 tax refund suits have been filed against us in the Circuit Court of Johnson County against all the other major cities of Johnson County, which have been pending over the last 3 years in their attempt to try to preserve their right to get back the money that they then started paying under protest. With the resolution of the lawsuit, the approval of the class action over in St. Louis, an objection was raised at the last minute. That just got overruled in January, and so now we truly are over, I believe. In such the city of Holden has received a check from the class action settlement in the amount of $50,904.71. I also anticipate soon, I hope within the next month, the dismissal of the 8 tax protest lawsuits. I'm sure, here it is. Thank you. That have been pending for since 2013. They filed 1 quarter seeking refund of the 3 months each. And those are all now pending. Those should be dismissed. And when that happens, the money being held in reserve, which the city clerk has provided me, which would now be in the total sum of $25,087.08, will be available for public use and distribution by this council, or a total recovery of $75,991.79. Moving forward, those Century and Link services as the AT&T landline services will be subject to our business license tax of 5%. There won't be any more major wonderful hits like this, but this will be received on a quarterly basis. And it runs around, so far the Century Links have been running around $3,000 to $4,000 a quarter. So, that's the big news. Normally lawyers only discuss in closed session, and normally lawyers make hedge and promise you anything. This time, I think citizens of Holden that their representatives will have $75,000 they weren't budgeting or planning on to deal with in the current year, and it's not limited as to what purposes you would put that funding to.
So we could use the money for anything, the city likes to decide on.
Any questions for me? Not that the earlier questions were alarmed, don't get me wrong. There's any questions here? Well, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Okay, reports of committees and all their business. Start over here with Neil. Do you have anything, Neil? Okay, good. Angie?
Yep.
Doyle?
Oh, a couple, Neighborhood Watch, the 3rd Tuesday of each month, 7 o'clock. We got the sheriff coming down. to talk to people, so if you guys are interested, show up.
When is this?
Huh?
Say again?
7 o'clock, Sheriff,
When?
Tuesday, third Tuesday, next Tuesday. At the library, thank you. So if you have questions for your sheriff, you want to address it, bring it there.
When is it?
Next Tuesday at the library, 7 o'clock.
What time?
7 o'clock.
It's just gonna be a meet and greet.
Yeah, meet and greet. And I'm sure we can hang him out for a little bit. One of our officers are resigning. Our newest one, he's going to Johnson County Sheriff's Department. So we're back on getting applications for reserves. We're losing a lot of reserves, maybe. He's going for a full-time job, well, he'll be slowing down though. Our numbers for the month, we've had 256 calls. That's just calls, that's no code enforcement, walk-ins, anything like that. It's just calls to the police, or to the dispatch. And that number is kind of high for being in the second month. And that's all I got for the moment.
Okay, thank you. Larry?
Well, I don't know if anybody wants to hear any more about the Bluegrass concert, but everything is in place and moving forward to have the Bluegrass concert. And,
If you want to sponsor, call us.
yeah,
$8.
What does the sponsor get you?
Well, might be asked.
T-shirt?
Oh, we don't have shirts. No, you just get, they'll call your name out twice during the event, bring a flyer up, we'll put it up for you. Just kind of fill it out as much as we can.
How much did you say this cost?
$50.
$50?
$50.
See Doyle for sponsorship.
Yeah, come on, I'll take the money.
He's good, that's all. A few of them. Okay, that it?
that's all I have for
March 14th, right?
March 14th, 6:30 at the high school.
Okay, Jim?
I don't have anything.
Okay, Sam?
No.
Dorothy?
Not till warm weather.
Not so. Okay. All right, thank you all. Next, we have approval of appropriation. I'll give you a second to look those over. Entertain a motion for approval when you're ready.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Clarkin. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Dorothy. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, I do have a need for an executive session under 610.021 relating to hiring, firing, and discipline and promoting of particular employees when personal information about the employee is discussed or recorded. Could I have I would entertain a motion to go into executive session. Motion by Weeks, do I have a second? Motion by Clarkin, all in favor?
Roll call vote.
Roll call.
We'll take the roll call.
Carter?
Yeah.
Thomas? Yes. Weeks?
Yes.
Clarkin?
Yes.
Gilchrist?
No.
Braver?
No.
Wakeman? Yes.
Motion carried. We'll adjourn for 5 minutes and reconvene in executive session.
Ask
Is that one of them?
It's the minutes that you. Did you get that?
No, no one's got that yet.
Speech. Yeah.
I tried. Me or so, we tried hard. It wasn't their fun. That's awesome.
Well, I figure I didn't take it out.
Say very accurate, and I think that's why. That's off the road. I just happened to think of it. I'm new. Sorry, my parents had on the property. Ryan Taylor. Okay. Tad. What's your name? Tad. Tad. Okay. So I always thought that, you know, if it's out, if the residents are outside of the city, it shouldn't be in charge, but if they are, then you're paying taxes. Exactly. And I'm going to bet, it's interesting. That could be a. Yeah. Or something like that.
My wife said,
Specify.
How long, we're gonna be in a few minutes? I'll tell Joel.
Somebody leaving? I'm gonna be the only one executive
It's
session.
a personnel issue, you're going to consider a personnel issue.
Personnel. It's the first I've seen it. Why wouldn't we get a copy? I'll have to read this.
You better not.
Is this your copy? You get it from Sam? Jim? Have we seen this? From the Attorney General?
That's the one we got. That's the very good. Who got that?
Jim?
Gave it to me, but I don't know where it's addressed to.
We've not seen it. Make a copy of it, I
Where
guess.
did he get it? Did he say?
Did he bring it in and share it? No. Probably assumed we got one. That's a bummer.
I would think, right is right and wrong is wrong. I mean, why is it so hard? Exactly.
Yes, how you doing? You associate this guy?
I know where it's going.
Vacant lot.
Actually, the owners are here, he's going around with cowboy hat.
And their son. No, is it? Yeah. I'll call him back. We'd like to start the executive session for council members.
What, last time? Last time? I said last time.
Two of our members appear to not be coming.
Well, maybe one. I think one's still there. Jim's still there. I may be wrong.
I need to roll up the advanced.
You do. You need to get more efficient.